And hello everyone. While our DM's video is not yet working for some reason, because why would anything work the first time that we're going with this? Welcome. Don't mind me. Let me put this way for you. Put that under the bar. Hey, welcome back. It's another Monday here at Proficiency Bonus. Welcome back to We Met in a Tavern, as once again we have our lovely technical difficulties. Which means when I go to the next screen, I probably won't be there either. So we'll fix that when we get there. Before we jump over and bring you over to all of our beautiful players, a couple of quick shout-outs. Thank you to Streamlabs, Team MZ, Many-Sided Dice, Twitch, and our favorite friends over at Little Dragon Corp. If you're in chat, exclamation point Little Dragon, give you the information on their website. And you can use the discount code BONUS, BONUS, at checkout to get 10% off your order. Definitely check them out. They do have, they've recently added the elemental dice for the resin elemental dice are now available on their actual store page. So if you missed out checking them out when they were doing the Kickstarter, definitely check them out on the on their site. A lot of them are really cool. If anyone's looking for me, my birthday's April. Just going to leave that out there. The diamond dice are pretty nice looking. And with that, we will go ahead and jump over to our party. Yes, unfortunately, as I thought a couple of moments ago, that our... Oh, I am shifting the wrong thing around. Forgive me for a moment as I adjust our cameras here, because... as you can see, Lydia will not be joining us this evening. Just give me a moment. Okay, so... Oh, so... Armors I can hide. Okay. So, we will do our best for Lydia, but she will be on Roleplay Light now. As you do remember, we have Artemis. We let Art keep their nat 20 from the week before, and Lydia was awarded one last week. So we are going to be, realistically, the DM is probably going to be using Lydia's nat 20 for something when it will help out the party best. So with that being said, we will jump head first into what has been going on with our party. So our party has been making their way through the innards, and sorry, don't mind as our view changes, I'm slowly shifting the camera, that's why I keep looking this way. Our party has been making their way through the innards of a massive elemental turtle. They had basically passed the gums down the throat, ended up in the stomach after some somewhat rough encounters with a gelatinous cube, and eventually they managed to we'll say win the day, and then have made their way into the intestines. They were giving chase to a half-man, half-shark creature that had managed to steal to what Lydia's eyes, with her detect magic ability, appeared to be a glowing orb. After taking down some of the basically rigging that this group had left inside the turtle's intestines in the form of ladders and spikes into the intestinal wall, they eventually made it to what they heard the group in front of them saying was basically the last ladder, and then they're on their way out. Battle ensued as they caught up with them, with some quick thinking from Furia throwing a moonbeam up at the top, a couple of great shots from Jack, literally shooting the sides of the chain ladder to drop the ladder, as well as everybody still on it, back down onto the ground. They managed to defeat the two what looked to be regular pirates or regular brigands that were with this creature, and they managed to subdue him as he was sitting in front of them in a somewhat strange humanoid form. Appeared he looked to be a regular elf at that point. Eventually, he changed back into his normal form that they had seen. A conversation was had, and the party obtained this orb that they have learned is 1 piece of 5, needed to complete a portal to open doorways into other realms. This individual has requested permission to depart the said elemental turtle with them, as he is claiming, and to all of our party's multiple insight checks, they are pretty sure that he is telling them the truth. But we're not... There still seems to be some dissension in the group, as right in front of this individual, some of the party members called for a vote on whether or not to kill him or let him leave. The party is currently split, with the siblings and Snow Moon, if my notes are correct, voting to kill, with Furia and Lydia coming down on the side of, well, we got what we wanted, let's just leave and let him go do his thing. We left last session with all eyes turning to Artemis, as we did not want to make that call for Art, as DM was in control, and there was some debate, as we're all still getting to know Art, as to which way Art would fall on it. So with that, we turn it over to the party. And we start with you, Artemis, as it seems like your party split 3 on one side of this intestinal tract, 2 on the other, and all eyes turn to you. You see a somewhat, not really roughed up, so to speak, but you definitely see that this person has taken a couple of shots. And he is just currently just sitting down, chilling on the ground, looking at the group of you with a somewhat, I'll say almost apprehensive look on his face.
Before I say anything, those insight checks, were they good ones or were they not good ones?
I think overall they were pretty good. There were a couple of people who rolled low, but I think the highest was either an 18 or a 19. There may have even been a 20.
Yeah, I think I got over 20 or over on mine. It was really high.
Yeah.
It was near 20 for sure.
We trust him implicitly. We all rolled 4s on our insight check.
Well, those who rolled 4s trust him, and the other ones who rolled higher, it seems...
Also trust him.
Yeah, it seems like he's being on the up and up about it. Now, something else we mentioned, and I think we mentioned this after stream, just as we were all sort of joking around at the close of our session. But, Lydia got a 21, so... Yeah, we know at least one person was over a 20. Something else we joked about off of the fact is one of the things that people were concerned about is, what if he goes back and tells him, here's what these people look like, here's the ship they're on, here's everything. Sweet William is the one who actually gave the information on the ship and gave the captain and the ship of their prior crew. So this individual has not been given any information on Captain Breslin or your current ship.
He also told us that it was his boss that made him a shark, and he thinks that his boss can unmake him a shark, and he doesn't want that. Because when he turned into an elf, like one whole side of his face was like burned or disfigured or something like that. And
cool.
Yeah, Furia is making assumptions here that he doesn't want to walk around like that, but
got glowing green worms on his face or something like that.
All of you'll see. Thank you. All of the people, when you saw him in his humanoid form, it was more pronounced. But even the 2 other people have what look to be like 3 green worm, almost like a tattoo on the side of their face. Another name that you heard mentioned when you guys were still a ways away was Quargeth. Didn't mean anything to anyone, Actually, what Art? What is your brain freeze? What is your intelligence or Arcana modifier? Because you don't have your character sheet in Roll20, so I was guessing on a lot of your stuff.
Oh boy. I don't even have it up on D&D Beyond. Give me a moment.
No worries.
Oh jeez.
It's just because I wasn't sure, so I think you're the only one who might have had something where you're proficient in Arcana that you might have been able to get.
Yeah, I am. A +5 to Arcana.
Go ahead and give me an Arcana roll real quick.
Oh, dread. Okay. Uh, 18?
Unfortunately not. So the name doesn't mean anything to you either.
Oh, dread. Okay.
Yeah, it all comes down as he's sitting there. While we're waiting on Art, what are the rest of you doing? Are you guys just sort of leaving him to his own? Is Snowmoon sitting on his lap? I mean, what are you guys doing as you're having this conversation of whether or not to kill him?
At this point,
Jack's got the guns on him in during this entire conversation.
yeah, Snowmoon has his blade is still hilted, but he has his hand on it.
Okay.
Yeah, I would be switching between Art and the shark guy. Just, I wouldn't say leaning up against the intestine wall because that's just kind of icky, but as close as I can get to doing something like that.
I can't remember if this. Ooh, sorry. Did I say this on stream last week, or was this when we were talking afterwards about Jack's recommendation in the event of a tie?
That was after.
I think that was after stream, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh boy.
So Art, you can see that it seems to be Lydia. Lydia's a little closer to this individual than the rest of you. Oh, and you're here, Art. This individual game, his name is Hara. Harra.
Oh.
So as you guys are sort of sitting next to everyone, you see Lydia is a little bit closer. I don't want to say than the rest of you to her, but a little. I guess I'll say, in a friendlier sense, a little closer to him. Doesn't seem to have a hand on her weapon. Doesn't seem like she's preparing any spells or anything. She's just seems to be standing sort of beside him, just looking down at him a little bit. You do notice every once in a while like a half glance between Jack and Snowmoon, just as you two are standing there with the weapons at the ready, so to speak.
Oh, well, I sort of feel like we've gotten what we need, and if this shark thing is content being a shark and wants to go and do his shark things, and we've already got what we came for, right? Is this what was messing up the turtle?
Yes, we've removed ladders, and there was actually a plug between the stomach and the intestine that we pulled out that was keeping it open.
Oh, gross.
And we pulled it out, so as far as we know, everything's gone that was bunging it up.
Well, if that's the reason, then I see no further reason to be in here. I don't much care for what happens to him, but I'd rather not start out the journey with more blood.
Well, seems we're at an impasse then.
William looks over at Jack and says in their language that it's a tie.
So she responds back to him then. She says, "Fine, if we cannot come to a conclusion ourselves, then it is not our decision to make. The Capitan has the final authority on this. We should bring him for now.
Very well. I won't act against the party. And he just kind of lifts his hand off his sword and takes a step back.
He looks at the group of you. So I can go?
Well, we're leaving with you.
Yes, I suppose it's a case of we're going to hold on to you for a bit. I think Jack was saying something about wanting the captain to talk to you or about you. Wanting the captain to talk to you. I'll vouch for you about you. That's what you're worried about.
He sort of looks over at the group of you, and you notice looks to you, Furia, and Lydia a little bit longer. If you're gonna guarantee my safety, then I don't see no harm in it.
Me personally, oof. Last time I did that, I got cursed. So let's see what happens this time.
Well, we need to exit the turtle first, and who knows where we're going to end up when we do that. Anything could happen.
Oh, yes.
And I'm looking straight at the shark when I'm saying this.
Myriad of things.
He just sort of looks back at you. Again, as much as a shark can sort of give you this sort of sly half smile. It's certainly a long way from getting out up there. I mean, now that one with the quick fingers put us down, and he starts bending over and starts rummaging through one of the guy's pockets on the ground. Pulls out what looks to be a couple of like ice climbers metal hand picks. Pretty sure he's got another set of these. It takes us a while. One go up, to throw them back down.
I suppose that's another reason why the turtle's probably not too happy. Just poking around at his insides. But I'd rather that than the other way.
So he turns and looks at the group and sort of gestures at the group and then over towards the intestinal wall.
I'm fine with going up that way.
So he starts.
Are options besides the hooks to climb this wall?
Wait an hour.
Magic.
I turn into a spider. I climb a rope up there.
It is perhaps better not to cause the turtle more harm on our way out if we can.
I'd be fine with waiting.
The turtle might, because it is feeling better, start swimming away.
That was my next question. The turtle might already have begun to swim. What do we do if we exit the beast and we are far underwater?
We are going to be anyway if where we came in is opposite of where we came out.
The point stands. What do we do if we find ourselves far underwater when we leave the turtle? Do we have a plan for this?
Just head for the surface. Yeah. Not really.
Yeah, she's kind of like, hold our breaths. Cool. And she just kind of like chuckles a little bit to herself in sort of a, like a, well,
We have.
this is how I die type of way. She's just like, okay.
You actually hear a chuckle coming from the shark, and you just hear rummage through them. They each had a potion. It'll only help two of you, but
We got some potions from before, don't we?
We did. I don't know if
We don't
they
know what they
were.
do though.
I can't remember.
Let's see.
Huh?
Okay, give me a second to find
Yeah,
notes here.
we didn't discover what they were.
Yeah, I got my. I'll just gotta pull my cheat sheet here.
Not too many dang notebooks.
Okay.
Two
I don't-
orange vials with smoke filling the top.
Okay, so realistically, those aren't going to help you.
One rose liquid bubbling with a heart in it.
Okay,
A
nope.
spell scroll, probably, and a dry pouch.
Oh, I have.
As in everything else was wet, but that one was dry.
Okay, so out of that, the only thing. I'm gonna come on, pull up the. Thank you. Let me just find here where.
Oh yeah, and the horn of endless water.
Yes, because that's just what you need when you're deep underwater.
And you're
If we can
for-
flood it
Yeah,
enough, then we
right.
could float to the top.
I have an idea for the Horn of Endless Water.
Hmm.
The show. I'm very excited.
Let's see here.
I think I had the horn right, and then I think the powder was my role. I can't find my notes.
I didn't
Let me see
keep
here.
track of who rolled for what.
The,
But yeah, I think you had the horn.
The horn I asked for, so that I knew I had, and I feel like the dust was my role, but I
Okay,
can't
let's
find
see
my notes.
here. Bitter Jack. No, you rolled. You had one of the. You and Snow Moon rolled the orange liquid with the smoke at the top of it.
Okay.
The dry bag was actually rolled by Furia.
Ah.
Lydia is the one who rolled the scroll. And Sweet William rolled the pink potion with the every occasionally that single popping heart bubble.
Of course he did.
Oh, okay. I misunderstood that item. I thought it was a jar with a literal human heart in it.
Oh no, this is literally.
This is much less creepy than I thought it was.
Ah,
It could
An
turn into
anatomically
something more.
correct-
I thought it was like
Bubble
an
heart.
anatomical heart in a jar.
Okay, and let me just check something here. What do you mean I fit? No, that's the name of the bloody thing. There we go. I don't know why you didn't exist. Does this... Okay. Well, that's good to know. Okay. So you guys are planning on taking a short rest, it seems, to give Fury some time?
Sounds like
Okay.
it.
All right.
So would anyone be doing anything during this short rest? Feel free, if you're injured, go ahead. You can roll some hit dice if you need to.
Yeah, I'm gonna be rolling some hit dice.
I have no idea. Oh, I'm pretty okay.
Yeah, it's
will be-
because you didn't have your character sheet in Roll20. I sort of kept you at the back. I don't even know if you have Firebolt, but that's what you were using all last session.
Oh, I sure wasn't, but okay.
So yeah, when you get a free moment, doesn't have to be tonight. Just toss your character sheet in Roll20.
I'm sorry.
No worries.
I'm communing with my inner animal.
Oh, okay.
Or animals in this case.
I'll spend the time to collect various lengths of 50-foot rope from people
Okay.
and lash them together in addition to one of those hooks that I've been collecting so that we can make we can make our own ladder up with
easy enough to get done within the hour between the rope people
One
have,
stabbing
the
of the
likes of
turtle instead of like 100 all the way up.
Nice. William is rolling herbal cigarettes. So you just like catch hints of clove and lavender. Him just rolling it up and licking it.
Is William Johnny Depp?
Bish, he might be.
I'm about it. I'm into it.
So, Art, anything you'd be doing? There are a bunch of things that people found. I don't know if Art has the ability to identify.
I think I have that. Yeah, I do.
If you have that spell, you can cast it as a ritual if people want to have you identify things or if you're willing
Gosh. Wow.
Please.
I'm not a good wizard.
to.
Sure, if anybody wants to check whatever they have out, come over here. Drop it at my feet, and we'll see what happens.
I hand Art the potion bottle with the floating decorative heart inside of it.
Well, this just looks like a trinket. Give me 10 minutes.
I will also give over this mysterious dry pouch.
Okay.
That looks a little bit gross. Give me 10 minutes as well.
As Art's going through this ritual casting, again, you see it's a little awkward to watch Artemis set up this ritual spell within the intestines of a turtle. As Art's going around putting candles in a small circle, lighting them. Just a very sort of disconcerting images. Art goes through it though. The first thing, Art, is you're concentrating on this bubbling pink liquid that Sweet William has given you. And as you finish your incantation and you watch as this little heart bubble appears and then pops, you know that this is a filter of love.
Of what?
Filter of who?
Yeah, I lost it too.
Oh, sorry, a filter of love.
Okay.
The
I
next
thought you
time
like
see-
censored yourself, and I was like, "What do you mean?"
The next, basically after drinking, the next time you see a creature within 10 minutes, you become charmed by said creature for 1 hour. If the creature is of a species or gender you would normally be attracted to, it is your one true love for the entire hour.
Ooh.
Aww.
Someone takes that from him. Takes that from him immediately. I don't even care about the Sharkman anymore. That is the most dangerous items that we have.
No, but see, I want someone to give me the filter of love, though.
Well, you
I
see,
wanna be,
we
like,
could make it
totally
so you care very much about the Sharkman.
No, you were very specific. It had to be the, what was it, gender and species. I am decidedly not attracted romantically to Sharkmans. That is canon for the campaign. It is not into
We would
Sharkmans.
never do a dirty trick like that.
Sorry, big boy.
Art just like looks at Hara and he's like,
But then it just, a little bit of a chuckle, just sort of shaking his head.
gingerly hands it over to Sweet William. Very gingerly.
It will be all ruined.
Okay.
Just don't use it around me or near me. I'm fine as is.
I take it a little bit and I kind of like a little bit like
Whoa.
open the stopper and then plug it back up and put it in my pouch.
It has a very strong rose scent to it.
Wow, I'm lightheaded now.
So, Art, as you finish your second go round on the very extremely dry leather pouch, you come to know that this is a pouch known as Dust of Dryness. small pouch contains 8 uses, or 8 pinches of this dust. For assuming it's making its way back to Furia, you use an action to use 1 pinch, sprinkle it over water. The dust will turn a cube of 15 feet by 15 feet into a single marble-sized pellet, which floats or rests near where the dust was sprinkled.
That's dry.
You can then use an action to smash said pellet against any hard surface and release the 15-foot cube of water. It can also be used on water elementals to force a save or do some damage to them.
Well, might be good to dry some fish out, or no offense. Looks back
The
over at
minute you say
Hara.
that, Hara is now glaring at you.
Oh, maybe the turtle. Probably not the turtle. Let's not try for that. I'm sure you can find some use for it. Just be careful.
Yeah, of course. Right. And I'm distracted, but I take it back.
Sorry, my cats are bent on destroying the living room.
They're cats. About this time, a little while after Art is taking the time to identify the 2 items that people brought forward, the hour passes along. You definitely notice Hara looks to be feeling a little better as well. You've tried to patch himself up a little bit. And then the story is yours.
Well, actually, how big is this creature? I gotta check. Oh, only medium. Okay. You have my rope, right, Jack? I'm not gonna morph into it with it.
I have the ropes. I have the rope with the hook. And I will hand it to you once you transform. You can climb. Or I'll fix it to you. I don't know what sort of spider person hands you have. Also, not attracted to spider people. Want to be clear about this?
I'll start a tally.
Yes, you know.
Always. Yeah, so I'm going to sort of, make some space and then turn into a giant wolf spider,
Okay.
which is a medium creature that is a rather furry type of spider.
Could ostensibly could I climb onto the spider with the rope and you walk up the wall?
I'd say definitely.
If you can stay on my back.
I think definitely, yes, I want to see that.
It's
Spider rodeo, let's
a
do
small
it.
halfling riding a spider up. Why not?
Love
Dun,
it.
dun, 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 dun.
Love
As
it.
long as you can hang on vertical surfaces. I mean,
Put the guns away. I will have the hook attached to the rope in one hand, and with the other and my legs, I will hold on to the spider.
Okay.
all right, so I'll start climbing up to the top.
Okay. Takes you a little while. It is basically, like you said, it's almost 80 feet up to the top. So as Jack has borrowed some rope from a couple of people, sort of got it all tied together, knotted up so you guys can make it up. The 2 of you make it up with no problem. As you sort of crest at the top, and it looks like you've got about a 6 or a 7 foot sort of plateau ledge, and then you watch as it just sharply angles down, and actually, Jack,
Slide all the way out, yeah.
Lydia would have sent up with you that little coin that she's been casting light on,
Okay.
so that you have light up top.
Okay.
So for those of you down beneath without dark vision, which I think includes Snow Moon and William, you don't see anything down there.
Yeah, the spiders actually has dark vision, so
Okay, yeah. So you,
Spider
even
is
with
fine.
yours, as you can see down. Hold on, let me jump over to my measurements page here. Okay. Yeah. So even with how far out is the spider's dark vision? Is it 60? So you actually lose sight as you watch. It sort of curves again, similar to that first one or the first one where you sort of jumped across and you could slide down. This has that same sort of slight slope down to it, but you lose the end of the tunnel into the darkness 60 feet out. So you know it's further down to the end to 60, but
I realize as we get up here, I did not need this spike after all, and there's already spikes up here from the top of the ladder that I shot off. So instead of re-stabbing the turtle, I will attach the rope to the already existing remnants of the ladder, so that the people can climb that.
okay. So as you tie that off, what are those of you down beneath doing?
Watching.
Watching what?
Well, we're watching this spectacle of the spider, but
Well, as
you
so
can see
you
the
you saw
coin
the
go
spider.
up the...
Yeah, you saw the spider actually with the light, so
Has
you would have
light
kept
coming
seeing the
off,
spider.
right?
Yeah, so the light would have brought up, so you would have seen them, and you can see up at the top. The rope now seems to be attached off in the distance.
I like
And
take the little coin and go like over the edge.
And
to, like,
it's
indicate.
There's a speck of
And the
light moving up
rope
at the
is
top.
been dropped down to us.
Well, it would have been down at the bottom because I was just like I just
Oh,
had
duh.
an end and we went
Yeah.
up.
Alright, so yeah, I see the signal from Jack, and I'll just turn to Sweet William and Art and say, keep your eye on the shark. And I'll grab the rope and start to climb.
Sweet
You
William
got it, buddy.
nods and just breathes smoke out of his nose. Breathe.
As so as you start climbing up, thanks to Jack's work on the ropes, you're not having any trouble. You get about 3/4 of the way up before Howard looks at Sweet William and Artemis and says, "If it's all the same to you two, I think I'll be going up next so I don't get left behind." Then just sort of walks past the two of you and starts climbing up.
As when I get to the top and Jack has the rope tied and everything's good, I would like to hide and stealth somewhere. Sort of blend in, back away from the light, farther down if I can.
Okay.
Even if that means like hiding on the ceiling somewhere.
So you can certainly try to. You're in about a 20-foot tubular thing. There's not really like a real good nook and cranny you can sort of hide in. We'll say as you go off this little plateau and crawl down a little ways, you can hide, and I'll say you can pick a direction, top, left, right, bottom, and you can try hiding there. Go ahead and make a stealth check.
All right. Yeah, I would. Even if I had to go away, I would still do it.
Okay. So yeah, to get decent, you'd have to go probably about 15-20 feet down the corridor away from Jack to get out of the bright light from the coin.
Oh, that's a 15.
Oh, okay.
So I'll do my best to stay as close, but still hide,
Oh, okay.
or at least be unobtrusive.
Let's see here. Okay. So eventually Snow Moon makes it up to the top. A couple of moments later, Jack, you notice Hara's climbing up. Sweet William, Artemis, what order are you two coming up in?
Sweet William will take up the rear.
Sounds good to me.
So as Artemis starts up, again, Sweet William giving Art a little bit of time. Once they're about halfway up, you start climbing up. It takes about 3 or 4 minutes for everyone to make their way up top as the group of you come out. Again, Hara standing just a little ways behind Bitter Jack, sort of towards the, I guess I'll call it the down ramp, the exit chute, so to speak.
Oh.
And to give people room to get up, and also to, seems to be a little nervous given the conversations you all had in front of him, so.
So, just to like, where are we? In the anatomy of a turtle, roughly.
You're
Where are
somewhere.
we?
You're in the intestines on your way to the anus.
Cool. All right.
I
Just
believe the
making
medical
sure.
term is rapidly approaching the butthole.
You
Alright.
passed through the smaller sphincter leading from the stomach into the large intestine.
We're
then
gonna be
wound your way
passing
through
somewhere
that.
for sure. What do we mean?
So now you are, when you guys were basically traipsing through and removing all these ladders and spikes and everything as you went through the innards of this turtle, as you came down, I'll call it the last sort of long corridor, I believe it was Furia who had stealthed up ahead and heard people starting to talk, and then her mom say, "Oh, just hurry up. All you gotta do is get up this ladder and then we're out of here." So you know that this area here is literally the ladder that Jack shot down. This is sort of the last hump to get out of the turtle.
And you heard some voices down there, you said?
Those were the 2 dead bodies that are now laying at the bottom of the area
Oh.
you just crawled up from.
Oh, wonderful.
That Hara told you to go through their stuff as they had 2 water-breathing potions. That I don't think anyone did.
Ba-dum-bum.
I was communing with my animals. I don't have time for that.
So you guys are at the top. As you climb up, you notice Furia's gone.
Oh, great.
Do I know where she is roughly? Because I presumably saw her spider off.
And
into
you
the-
saw her sort of walk off into the darkness, heading down. So you know roughly where she went.
Okay.
What's your passive perception?
Not great. Passive 13.
Yeah, so you don't know exactly where she is. You know she's somewhere down, basically down the poop chute.
I'm just preparing the inevitable question. For the inevitable question.
I'm not there, but maybe release the hooks of the last ladder.
Yeah, I was just waiting for once everybody's up. I want all our rope back and.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
so at this
let's
point,
get those
everybody's
last
up at the
hooks
top.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm gonna pull all our rope back up with us. I'll hand the various segments back out to the people they came from, and then pull the final 2 hooks out of the turtle.
Okay.
Bring my sweet French people. Allow me to take a sip of the beverage of my people, which is V8 Splash. Sponsor us.
If you're not interested, hey, you can sponsor us too, you know. So with that, as you guys have pulled the last couple of hooks out and turn and look, and you see, again, for most of you, it just seems to disappear into darkness after about 35, 40 feet. The couple of you with dark vision, the tunnel sliding down in front of you disappears off in the distance at the end of your dark vision into black.
I don't like this. I don't like this one bit.
Artemis would notice that Furia is seemingly absent.
Where did shape-shifting friend get off to?
Somewhere else that way.
Oh, so she's going first. That's okay with me. Oh boy.
Is it like... Oh god. Are we gonna slide down this? Cause I don't wanna. Are we walking down here? I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
All you know is Furia went down that way.
Ugh.
Doesn't Shark Boy know which way to go?
What
Yeah,
about Lavender?
he's standing sort of at the back. And he's just looking at the group. Like he's standing. So where you guys climbed up, where it sort of basically it comes up and meets like this. So he's standing right on the, basically right on the ledge, where you need to head down to. And he's just looking at the group of you. Well, those of you can see.
DM, I don't want to go out the butthole though.
The party was given the option. They decided this was the easier way to go rather than trying to get back up through the throat.
On record saying Jack was against this direction from the beginning.
Jack also wanted to bring a ballista.
That's right, and we didn't get to use the ballista either. So all I'm hearing, Jack has a lot of good ideas. Nobody appreciates them.
I mean, when you think of it, a ballista could have been tied with enough heavy rope to come back up into the ceiling 50 feet in the air over the water, and you could have climbed your way back up.
We didn't want to damage the turtle anymore.
Well, now the turtle's gonna damage us, so
Mentally,
let's
physically,
get on with it.
emotionally,
We've come this far. Let's get on with it.
spiritually.
So if I look, Lydia, you can do the light more than once.
Lydia looks over and says, yes, but only once at a time.
Right, yes. So I look over the, like, precipice, and I just, like, huck the light coin,
And as you're watching,
see what happens.
and it only falls about 10, maybe 12 feet before it actually hits the side and just starts sliding down. And as it, hits
I knew it.
it's not perfectly smooth, it, hits a spot and bounces and starts rolling down. As it gets to be about 60 or 70 feet down, you can see off in the distance it is reflecting off of something metallic.
Oh.
It's hard to make out exactly what it is. But as you're all looking, it has a somewhat similar feel to the strange contraption you pulled
I
out
don't know
of
if
the stomach.
Para is laughing at what I think Para's laughing at. I wasn't thinking anything, and then I heard Para start to laugh, and me think something.
I'm sorry, it's not safe for work.
You know,
You were like, you see
What?
something metallic, and then I just heard like.
Sorry! I'm 10! In actuality, I'm sorry, this is a facade!
and what's worse is the DM designed the whole thing and didn't bloody think of that until just now. So,
I'm sorry.
so
Oh boy.
guess what? It is now!
It is now.
These old gods had to entertain themselves somehow.
Now with Bluetooth capability.
For what? Okay, never mind. Never mind!
Shark person.
Some
what
some
is
questions
the
don't need to
noises?
be answered.
As the light bounces down and you
V8
ask to see the
Splash! Sponsor us! Oh, God.
That's right.
As he looks at you, he says, "Oh, what?
Sorry.
You think we're gonna go in and out without a little help? No, that's our doorway."
And are we going to have to destroy or prise this open on our way out?
No, it's just turn the crank and it opens it up.
Of course it does. Cool. I don't want to be on this party anymore. Jump off the edge.
Oh, gosh.
I can't.
Oh, the DM doesn't think through his designs.
I am gonna have her just go at this point, though. It seems like she can slip and slide her way down to wherever this thing is without dying. So she's like, all right, we're wasting time, and she just goes.
And as you dive, Hara follows right behind you.
I'm going to wrap my face up with one of my scarves and then head after.
Oh, okay. After Hara jumps, I will mention, Alfira, you do notice that all of a sudden the head sort of cocks and looks up at you a little.
Blink my mini eyes back at him. If spiders blink, I don't know if they do, but this one does.
Do spiders have eyelids?
Yeah, seeing this snow moon just braces himself and leaps down.
You jump through him. That leaves you and Lydia up at the top.
Fun.
I'll climb down once everybody else I see has jumped past me.
Yeah, I'll be going to
Yeah, and
crossing myself.
and yeah, Lydia doesn't have dark vision or see anything, so Lydia's gonna jump down right afterwards. And again, now that the light is past, it doesn't seem like your friends noticed you, Furia.
Well, as soon as I pass, I'm starting my way towards the gate.
Yep.
Myself.
So, easy enough for you to walk down with your wall walking ability. Walk right down. Everyone else gets down to the bottom a little quicker than you do, as they're just basically sliding all the way down. As the rest of you get down to the bottom, it's not an overly pleasant. Your water and other stomach bile and stuff like that you've been wading through this period are all over you a little bit. Luckily enough, though, as you're getting down, as you're looking around, you are all thankful that you haven't seen any solids. But you are currently standing in front of a rather large, about a 10-foot octagonal metal, what looks to be disc. Very similar to the one that you pulled out of that valve in the stomach earlier. As you all get there, Hara walks up and you can see what looks to be a crank on the front of it. Hara grabs it, 2 hands, and starts turning it counterclockwise. And you
Does
want
it look like there's any way to dismantle this thing behind us?
From looking at it on this side, it's hard for you to say. It looks very for lack of a better term, it looks like it's basically just a metal frame that has been shoved into this opening to keep it open and give a way for them to just open and close it at will. As
Poor turtle.
As you're looking at it, you're pretty sure that if you were to affix something to it and get to the other side with enough strength, much like you did with the one in the stomach, you would be able to rip it out.
Okay.
You're just not 100% sure how easy that would be underwater.
This looks like a situation that would have been very helpful to have a ballista with us. So it's like water coming through this as he opens it.
So as he starts to open it, and you do see little bits of water starting to pour in. Not the amount you would necessarily assume, though, were you completely underwater. After another about 30 seconds, you can tell he's really sort of working this thing to get it open. He gets it open to the point where there's about a 6.5, 7 foot opening on it. And you can see on the other side of the opening is, the best way I can describe it is, looks to be a diving bell. You see a roughly stitched leather balloon. Which is currently affixed to the outside of the turtle, as you're looking with a couple of more spikes driving it down. But instead of the 2 that you were seeing for the ladder, this has about 7 or 8 of them. And within this balloon is just a pocket of air. As he works a little more and you all start walking through, and you can see that there are parts, as you can now tell, the turtle is moving.
Oh boy.
So as the turtle is starting to move, this sort of diving bell balloon is waving back and forth a little. And as it moves and breaks little bits of contact, some of the water is squirting in to this space. As he opens that, Andrea says, "What? Them other 2 weren't water breathers, needed some way to keep them alive. You try swimming down with this thing strapped through your teeth. Well, it ain't easy."
No, it doesn't look like it would be. Oh boy.
Can we get any sense of like how deep underwater we are?
It's not easy to see, as this is basically a big leather balloon. You can't see through it.
How are we going to get all of this off the turtle on our way out?
I mean, if you really want to pull the door off once we go through it, well, you look might scrawny, but perhaps me and, I'm biggin' over there. If y'all got some rope or some of that chain from our ladders, we should be able to rip this thing out.
And there's, you said there was 7 or 8 hooks in the turtle holding the balloon on?
Yeah.
What
And
if
again,
we...
once you start pulling them, though, that balloon's gonna take off like a rocket, so I'd be holding on for your dear life.
Got it. Jack, any ideas? I'm fresh out.
Pull out the door, grab the balloon, and head for the surface and hope that we don't drown.
Good. Sounds about right.
So Spider is going to use 2 front arms, legs to sort of clap in agreement.
So the idea here is that we go, like, once we go out, we're in the water.
No, so as you walk out, there is, I'll phrase it, you're still on, best way I can drive is picture it the bottom side of the shell.
Mm-hmm.
So you're walking out of basically the turtle's body, and it's probably got, given the size of it, about 10 or 12 feet of this basically the stomach plate of the shell. So you're standing on the lip of that.
Okay.
And there is a massive leather balloon, basically, that has been tethered down around this opening. That's a pocket full of air.
Gotcha.
So you could literally just say, screw the balloon, and push out to the side between these hooks and the wall, and be in the water.
Okay. So ideally we want to go out through the opening, remove the door behind us, and then position ourselves to try and remove the rest of the hooks tethering the balloon, and then hold on and ride up to the surface inside the air pocket of the balloon. And hope that we don't drown.
Cool.
Am I incorrect?
Spider claps hands again.
Art's gonna check out, I guess, the metal framing and see if there's any weak spots that they can start, like, working a little bit.
So, we had Art resting after the near-death experience last time. So, it was Bear, Furia, and Lydia who pulled out the last one. Both of them would recognize this is a very similar structure. It's literally just 8 straight pieces of what look to be iron that have been welded together to create this octagonal frame. So what they ended up doing before was literally just attaching a rope to a central point on it and just, giving it the old heave-ho and whipping it out. I'll say if you want to go ahead and make an investigation check. And we'll see if you come up with what you come up with here.
Oh boy. 6?
Yeah.
Those are some mighty fine welds. You never spend much time with the blacksmith, but those look mighty fine. You think muscling it out's probably the only way.
Come on. Okay.
So that Lydia will step up and... So, are we pulling it out like we did the last one? I don't know why I'm trying to do her accent. I'm never going to be able to pull that one off.
Yes, this already worked once before, so why not do the same?
Okay. So, Snow Moon, are you going to help her and Hara?
Yeah, I'll grab a portion of rope and just start tying it.
So
I'm going to pop into myself again and maybe we should let the experienced rope tiers tie rope.
Alright, Jack. He kind of offers the slack of rope in his hands.
She looks away and she says, "What did they call me?"
I turn to you, and in halfling, I say a rope tire.
Is that racist?
I imagine we just exchanged like dialogue in like halfling, and then I'm just like.
He's like rope, and he
Jack
like
just,
kind of
shakes her
like
head
pulls
and,
on.
goes over and does the rope.
Experience rope tire.
the party has downtime, and everybody's like, how to speak halfling, how to speak halfling. So, as Jack ties it on, gets everything tied onto this thing. So go ahead, Snow Moon, and I will make a roll for Lydia and Hara. And given that Jack has tied this on and is much better working with ropes than you guys, you will all have advantage on your strength check. We'll do Lydia first.
Whoa.
It's cocked.
24.
Ooh, very nice.
Is it just a,
Oh, guys. I rolled
is it
that
a
one.
strength save or?
No, it's strength check for Snow Moon, Lydia, and the Shark Man as they're trying to literally pull the rope and get this thing
I
out.
thought this was to hold on to the thing after it came loose. Got it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no,
I'll
this
take
is
that
just to
nat
get the
one for
door out
whatever the next
first.
roll we have is.
Okay. So, okay. What is your strength? Okay. So, thank God for Snowmoon and Lydia, because Sharkman does not seem to be doing his part of the work here, pulling on this thing, as he just seems to be having trouble. But between the group of you, you manage to get that thing torn out, and immediately you watch as it comes out towards you. Again, much like you ran into with the stomach, the turtle's body just sort of tries to clamp down and starts immediately trying to retreat to its normal size. As the majority of you turn rather rapidly to look away from said spectacle and focus now on the balloon in front. You have what looks to be 8 of these same sort of fish hooks embedded into different points within the turtle.
So everybody get. How many of us are there? 7 of us currently?
There are 7, including Hara, yeah.
So I guess we pull one out, and then everybody grabs one, and we all pull them and hold on. Is that the idea?
It's up to the party. As you guys are starting to look around and start playing look on the inside. There's a couple of rungs of rope there. If you don't want to grab hold of that, I can get these all pulled out, because, and he sort of runs his head over his neck and you can see gills. I have no fear of the water.
Fine by me.
Sure, why not? Could always use it, dip in the water, even after that.
Jack's like looking at him for a real long time, trying to figure out like how he's gonna kill us all with his move. He doesn't seem to come to any conclusions. He's just like, she just goes and does.
Yeah, Snowmoon, he seems a bit suspicious, considering we discussed whether or not to kill this guy right in front of him. It seems to be an awfully nice gesture, but he goes along with it.
Okay. Fair and Sweet William, are you guys taking up and reaching and grabbing onto these the like sort of rope rungs that he has so people can hold on to?
It looks like it's come to this, so yes.
Lydia will, Lydia's not here. Lydia will follow and just sort of stick her arm through and hold on. And as you watch, he starts walking around and starts popping these hooks out. Takes off the first couple, and you can see the balloon starting to pull back. He takes off second, third. So he gets down on the fourth, and it's starting to pull, and you're watching as it's starting to tear. And you can feel the water getting agitated as this turtle is starting to move faster, trying to get away from this new sense of pain. As he pulls out the next 2, and there are 2 left, as he reaches down, pulls out one, looks right up at Jack, waves as he pulls out the last hook, and just lets go. As the balloon starts rocketing up towards the surface.
So I will, she will forego part of her grip to pull one of her guns out and Eldritch Blast with it.
Okay, go ahead and make your roll.
While this is happening, Art tries to, but ultimately fails at saying thank you, and probably amounts to thank you.
It's, I don't know what my modifier is, but the roll was only a 4, so I assume it's not gonna.
Yeah, Fury would also do her best to wave by, and then look in horror as Jack starts to fire at him. Just sort of
So
can't stop it.
Yeah, like one of the guns comes out, streak of like purple lightning fires out of the end of the gun in his direction.
And as you fire down and watch, you watch as he turns into the form of a great white shark and just starts swimming down into the deep. as after about 30 seconds or so, you guys manage to come rocketing to the surface.
And we all get the bends, and everyone dies of nitrogen.
Oh no!
Then
Dennis, next week we'll roll new characters.
Twirls, we'll be back right after this.
oh my gosh.
As you all start to make your way out of this leather balloon, you find that you haven't traveled very far. As you're looking, you can see
Thank God.
it looks to be you've probably gone about 3 or 4 miles. And as you're looking, you can see the ship has been following a little distance behind.
Listen, she's already got one of them out. She just points that gun up in the air.
And you watch as, and off in the distance, they're probably a good couple of 100 feet from you, you can hear someone shouting, and you watch as the ship very slowly starts to turn a little more towards where you guys have sort of erupted out of the water. And leaves you sort of treading water, sort of half laying on this half-inflated leather sack. And as you watch waiting for the ship, you watch as this massive island-sized turtle is just slowly starting to swim away. And then as you're watching, it starts to shimmer. And with a strange pulse of energy, you watch as the very ocean itself is now rushing to fill a vacuum as it has vanished. And as you're all sitting there, you can feel the current. It pulls you in the balloon another, 20, 30 feet further away from the ship, floating on the surface.
What?
As,
Everyone just saw that, right?
as it just vanishes from in front of you. And as Captain Breslin begins to bring the ship towards the group of you to fish the lot of you out of the water and find out what exactly happened in there, this is where we'll take our break for this evening. Thank you very much for those of you who have been hanging out with us. I saw Cognition, Chris Hansen hanging out with us. Thank you again for re-upping. I saw you subscribed again tonight. We love having you here. We're going to be gone for about 5-7 minutes, top off our drinks and everything. We will be back in just a little bit. So stay tuned and we'll see what happens as the party makes their way back onto the ship.
Did we ever know what the name of the ship was? Our ship?
Yes, your DM was supposed to tell you that, and welcome back, everyone. Is for your asset right as we were jumping back in. So let me find my notepad here. I've got like 3 of them floating around, so give me just a second, folks. Okay, let's see here. Is it this one? Okay. Let's see here. Okay, so the name of the ship is the Azure. Can't speak. The Azure Star. So as y'all are hauled back up onto the deck, a couple of the Grimmer's just tossing ropes down to you. Managed to get yourself climbed back up. The captain looking out over the group of you. Well, I must say that was an interesting departure. Been following this thing for it seems like the better part of an hour or two, and then all of a sudden it started picking up speed. Looks over at Lydia a little bit, who proceeds to give the captain a pretty brief rundown of what happened, what they found, or what y'all found, and what was causing the turtle to cause all the damage. And proceeds to show this orb to the captain. As captain looks over, so there are more pieces of this thing. Suppose if we can find them, get our hands on them, might be worth a pretty penny to the right person.
We do know one place for sure that the shark. Would Lydia have told him about the shark guy? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so the shark man told us that they were having trouble because it was part of a estate's collection, an heirloom, and they haven't been able to retrieve it yet. He was pretty sure that the other locations he knew about had already been retrieved, as they were in the middle of nowhere.
Oh, where's this estate then? Perhaps we can make our way there. And I mean, you did survive that beast after swimming to its mouth. Which begs the question, where did my longboat go? As you see, Lydia gets a little uncomfortable and starts struggling.
It's intact, maybe. Not for much longer. Might be in the stomach of the turtle. It's definitely in the stomach of the turtle.
We won't be getting it back at any rate.
And if we want to, it'll be a bit difficult.
You see, intestines go up and down and all around, and it just wasn't feasible to take it through. But I am glad we didn't take the ballista, otherwise you wouldn't have a ballista either.
Also, did you see? It's gone. It just disappeared.
The island was Snowdown? I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with these islands.
Well, Snowdown's it's not hugely close, but it's only a few days' travel. a little bit more picky down those ways. Did they happen to say where in Snowdown is? They've got a couple of decent ports down there.
Just part of a family's heirloom. Several groups they have sent, and they have not returned. I don't know anything more than that.
Heirlooms. That sounds like the DM may have forgot to told you that it's in what? Kaer Westfall.
Yes, I believe she told us it was in the capital city. That was all we learned.
Okay, so if it's in the capital, that's Kaer Westfall.
Okay.
So, well, that's... I'm going to put a slight spin on things, but they don't take kind to our type there. But
You should try to collect the prize for the turtle. We have nobody to prove, but we did solve their problem. Many thousands of gold pieces is not something to turn away from, especially since we lost the longboat.
Then you watch as the captain turns towards you, Jack, and just gives you almost a brilliant smile. That is a very good point, and we haven't been completely taking our time doing nothing up here. We've been, well, doing a bit of fishing. Now she snaps a couple of times, and you see a couple of people start running downstairs. And as they start bringing stuff back up, you're seeing it looks like bits and pieces from some of the smaller turtles that you guys had been feeding and speaking with. Looks like during the few hours that you guys were in there, they were, I suppose we'll call it fishing.
That would have been my
Good
next
thing
suggestion.
Lydia's not here.
Yeah, I'm not sure how Lydia would react to it, but I don't think she'd go against the captain, so I'm going to say Lydia's...
Well, maybe these could help prove our point.
That was my thinking. If we send you to shore with some bits, large portion of shell here, portion of leg here, make it look to be a larger creature than it necessarily was that we were dealing with. They may not be thrilled, but you should still be able to get... I think you told me it was 1,000 or 2,000 for it dead. We don't have it live, but as we had discussed, we don't think we were going to move that thing on of our accord anyway.
True enough.
So it only took a few hours. We can probably be there, well, it'll be shortly before dinner this evening, as you guys were in there for a few hours as well. So perhaps you'd get to clean up a little.
Maybe once I get ashore. I need some room. Yeah, I'll just, not go below decks or anything.
You guys just hear fountain and Jack starts fire hosing everybody with the with the horn of endless water.
Hit me!
As Jack is literally just firing off this fountain hose, you guys are actually doing a pretty good job of washing all the grime and gunk off of at least the surface stuff. You're pretty sure from sliding down, you're gonna need a good deep cleaning at some point, but...
Well, my approach was a much gentler idea, but that works. wash out my hair and all that.
And eventually, as you guys sort of take a bit of a breather, you make your way back to town. Proceeding to gather up these couple of rather sort of large, almost just leather satchels with just bits of, turtle pieces, some of the leather from the balloon that you pulled up, just every little bits and pieces to show. Captain breaks off a couple of boards of woods and rips a little bit of the sail, anything to sort of give credence to this. And then gives you 3 large bags of things to bring into town to prove you have slain the dreaded beast.
Art instantly looks through one of said bags.
Okay, as you start poking around, you see looks to be a fractured off piece of tortoise shell. Rather thick piece of bone. A couple of small pieces of wood, looks to be almost like a sideboard from a ship, or a piece of the decking.
Do all the pieces that they can see, are from turtle?
From what you can see looking in there, it's either turtle or basically ship bits.
Okay. Checks out.
Okay, so Art's picking up one of the bags. Lydia takes another one, throws it over her shoulder. Who's grabbing the third?
I'll grab the third.
Okay.
I'll get over her shoulder.
Where are we taking these? The mage's house or the town center area?
The reward for it alive was from the mage, oui? Or was it alive or dead to the mage?
Well, let's go to the town center and check it out and refresh our memories.
As you guys start heading down, we'll have Lydia remember whether she does or not. The mage was only interested in it alive. Everyone else just wanted the thing dead.
Who do we find? The mayor? Who is in charge of this place?
Let's see who's home in this building.
You head back over to where's my note? What is his name? Is it Prune Farmer?
Oh yeah, we did talk to the mayor. Whoever.
Yeah. We talked to him first.
He's the one who just said we don't care, just deal with it. And of course, I can't find my note with his name on it. I need to condense all these into one book.
Fyro Parsley Point?
Parsley Pont, that's right.
Yeah.
Parsley
Town
Pont.
Magister.
Thank you. Parsley Pont. I'm going to condense that in my permanent notebook so I don't forget him again. Because, now that I'm writing it down, you guys will never speak to him again. Okay. So it takes you about, after you guys make port, Captain gives you bags, you guys head down, and she was right, you're probably about an hour to an hour and a half before most people will be heading into somewhere to get dinner. So you make your way into Town Hall, and you actually run into Magister Parsley Pont walking out the front door as you guys are walking up. So he turns, locks the door, and well, hello again.
We fixed your turtle problem.
In a manner of speaking.
And
It was
Someone
so
just-
big.
drops the bag at his feet.
Your ships are no longer in danger.
So what are these then?
It was a big turtle. This is Some of a big turtle.
This
It
is
was really hard to
what was
pick all
left.
that stuff.
Go ahead and take a look.
Reaches over to Snow Moon's bag and ties it, looks in. He just his hand in two fingers sort of pulls up and well, I suppose if this is going to deal with it. And he looks over and you brought back some pieces. I suppose we can give those over to. Looks around. Lunatic. So, well, I suppose dinner can wait a few moments. Turns around, unlocks the door. Well, come in. We have paperwork to fill out if we had to pay you for this.
Do you want us to bring these things in, or do you want me just to leave them on the step?
Just sort of bring them in. I'll send a couple of you down to the basement with them.
Okay.
So Snow Moon will pick the bag up and haul it back over her shoulder again.
Art drags it in.
And right as you get through, immediately, just without even really looking, just points over to the side. No, down those stairs. There's a room on the right. It's open. Just put it in there.
Yeah.
Lydia will sort of nod, looking at the rest of you, and start heading down that way.
Yeah.
It looks as Snow Moon and Artemis follow along. Looks at the siblings inferior. So you brought some pieces back for him, but he won't give us the total amount for the live reward, obviously. But I think where you brought him some pieces back, we can get this up to what it was worth. Let me see here. Looks to be 1,000 initially, 4,000 alive, but a couple of bags. Why don't we do 1,750?
Your town is
Are we still
Oh.
down? Are we still off in the other room with the bags?
Yeah,
while they're
you're heading
discussing
down
this?
the flight stairs. You probably heard them toss out that number though, as you
Okay.
it's happening pretty close after you pointed you guys down.
Your town is free of its problem. Isn't it enough? Maybe you could top off the full amount from the town side of things?
Yes, this became a little more complicated. So,
It does not
2,000.
appear to be. I mean, you brought 3 bags of pieces back to us.
It
We
was a
lost a
really,
different
really big
process.
turtle.
There are repairs that will eat into any profit we make from this.
Go ahead and I'll let out of the 3 of you, whoever would like to, can make a persuasion check with advantage.
I would like to. I have a +6.
Okay.
I don't know what I have, but it's probably not good.
Oh, yeah.
You watch as he sort of hems and haws a little bit.
+1.
The best I will go is 2,500. He was willing to offer 3,000 for the live specimen. I am unwilling to pay that much. The city was offering 1,000 for its death.
I look over at Jack.
She says in their language, see if we can get him to allow the captain to berth the Azure Star in the port here without dock fees for the foreseeable future.
Okay. I turn to him and I say, the amount is acceptable. We also ask for you to forego the ship berthing fee here indefinitely for us.
I suppose we can manage that. That's a rather small source of income for us. But in order to do so, I will need you to mark your group name here so that I know who we are paying. What do we call you?
Here it is.
It seems like the sort of thing that I would have wanted to do before a break.
But we will allow you guys some time to think on that, because I did not think of that until literally just that second. So our group will sign their X, so to speak. It sounds like we will find out what they call themselves in the foreseeable future.
Dun, dun,
Yeah.
dun.
Give the party some
man.
time to discuss, and with Lydia not being here, we'll say, think of that for next time, folks.
Okay, good. Okay, cool. I look to him and I say, we'll get back to you on the name.
He marks down about the Azure Star and proceeds, walks away, goes into the back office. You hear some more sounds, and a while later comes, slowly walking back in with the chest on the counter in front of you, and cracks it open, just full of gold pieces.
So you have like a what's this guy's outfit look like?
So as you're
Like
looking,
a cool hat?
say who?
Does he have like a cool hat?
It looks almost like a. I guess the best way to describe it is think bowler hat. Sort of rounded top, small brim around it. As you're looking at him, looks to be almost like a charcoal gray, almost like double-breasted cloth suit jacket on. Looks like it's at one point these were very fine clothes, but you can definitely tell they've seen some wear. Edges are fraying a little bit as you look at the pants. Again, matching pants to the suit jacket, but again, the bottoms are frayed. The knees, the joints are a little worn.
His hat's not cool enough for what I was curious about, so don't worry. I'll save it for later.
So as he looks, marks it down, marks down your information, marks down the Azure Star. Says, well, I believe if that concludes our business, I would rather like to go eat dinner.
Art's coming up from the basement.
Yeah, you guys would have already started making your way back up at this point.
Okay.
And as you walk, you probably walked back in about the same time as he's dropping down the chest onto the counter in front of you. So,
Yes,
is it
well,
all?
thank you for the gold. That's a lot of gold.
Yes,
Wow.
yes it is. Now, if you would all please get out of my office so I can go eat.
You got it.
Alright, bye, goodbye. Have a good dinner. Perhaps cook some of that turtle. It probably won't make you sick or give you a stomach parasite that will kill you.
I start pushing Jack out. Gently, but just we need to go.
I was
But
practicing.
firmly.
I am sorry. Is my comment? Did I say the right words? Was it?
The turtle was not for eating; it was for investigating.
I don't think you can make that claim.
The
You don't know what
stomach
he was supposed to
parasites
do with
was
it.
a good comment, though. That was good.
You'll gather up the chest and follow the rest of you along.
I would go back to the ship to deliver the news about the deal.
Okay.
You don't want to walk around the port with 2,000 gold in just hanging out?
All right, now Lydia's just got a chest closed and walking along with the group of you.
We should drop this at the ship. I agree.
Yes, let's get this trunk on board the ship as quickly as possible.
Okay, so go ahead as you guys are heading out. As you start to leave, and as you look back, you can hear ripping. As Parsley Pond is ripping the sign down from the board out front. Go ahead, all of you make perception checks for me.
1.
Wow, that's a lot of money.
What's my actual perception? Well, it's not be hasty. It's a 4.
21.
Okay.
18. 18 as well.
Okay, let me... what did you get, Art?
18.
Oh, okay, and Sweet William? Let me grab Lydia here.
Gilliam, what do you see with your special eyes?
I don't know if Sweet William can hear us.
I totally spaced out.
Sweet William saw all the gold and went, I need a perception check from you.
He's trying to figure out how to feed that love potion to that pile of gold.
No, I'm trying to get it fed to me.
All you gotta do is drink it and then look at somebody. That'll be your true love.
No, but I want someone to give it to me. I want to feel that. I want to feel something got anything.
Oh my gosh.
So, all of you, anyone over a 15, notice that as Parsley Pond came out and started ripping the sign down, 3 or 4 heads turned. And eyes just followed the group of you.
Oh boy.
As the apparently news, at least in the immediate area, is around that somebody has collected some sort of bounty on that big-ass turtle.
Oh, well, that was rather quick. Let's hurry along.
Well, no, just keep walking nice and steady like we did before with, all the other stuff that was going on.
What have
The
those
treasure
things
map.
ended in?
Well, it certainly was nice of the mayor to donate this crate of used sweaters for our charity. Sweaters for sailors.
Yes, those sailors and those armless children will need them so much during the harsh winter on the water for our boat.
No cold sailors in this, how you say, neck of the woods.
All right, that's enough. Let's keep moving. And he just kind of like tries to stare.
As the crate is like
daggers
clink,
at
clink,
everyone.
clink, clink.
Just because of the numbers I rolled, go ahead and make a deception check with advantage as Art was helping you out, Jack. I rolled low enough that this matters.
So the dice is a 17, and
Don't even bother. As you say that, the heads turn away and go back about their business. 3 people noticed. Not a one of them rolled above a 6 on their insight, on the die. So yeah, none of them are going to have a plus 11 more.
All right, time to
one
get
really
some...
perceptive fishmonger's like, those motherfuckers are lying. That's a chest full of gold. I know it anyway.
You guys make your way back to the captain, back to the ship without a problem. Immediately upon seeing you come back, the captain immediately, hushes you all around and says, "Okay," and brings you into the captain's quarters. Sits down at her desk. Lydia walks up, puts the chest down, and then sort of steps back to let someone take point.
Well,
Um,
we got
ahead.
more than we thought we would.
Captain sort of opens it up. Well, this looks like to be quite a bit more than the 1,000 we were discussing.
He said 2,500, and then Jack here suggested that he waive the birthing fees, which he agreed to.
You watch as she sort of smiles a little. Oh. Well, it was nice of him to do that. It's copper a day, so could see why he just agreed without much thought to it. But either way, any little bit helps. So 2,500, you say? Let's see. Well, there are 6 of you. Plus we need for the ship and the rest of them. So why don't we do this? Well, our little family here was expecting 1,000. We'll, shall we say, donate 1,200 off the top to the 6 of you. That will leave 1,300 for the ship, of which I'll take 300 for myself, and we'll split the remainder between the crew and, of course, including all of you, as can't have anyone thinking they weren't given their fair share. Assuming you can not tell the others about the... let's see, 6 of you, that's 200 gold apiece, I believe.
Yes, your calculations are correct.
So and then
Secret safe with me.
if we look at the other 1,000 gold that we have, by the current crew we have active on the ship, plus the 6 of you, that would be additional, that'd be an additional 18 gold each off this one thing.
Sounds. So 118 gold pieces. For everybody, that sounds good.
Well, again, it's, and with a very, overly exaggerated, obvious wink, it's only 18 gold.
Right.
And then perhaps as we make our way down to the capital, well, it seems like this little group of you seem to work well together. I think sending you into the capital may work better than sending the whole lot of us in at once. Perhaps we can, if it is in some noble person's estate, there would probably be even more for the taking. Coin, items. People with money love things.
What a good.
Art's gonna like I'm assuming like the coins are being doled out, or are they in the process of being?
Yeah, so she's going through, and you can see her. She's basically just counting out the 200 for each of you first, and then going through, pulling the 300 out that she said she's taking, and then is going through and basically just setting out stacks of 18.
As the coinage gets doled out or whatever, Jack then turns to William and she says, "I am confused. What is the? Why have we been given this much of the cat?"
I look over to her and I say, "I'm not questioning it. I take it's an honest seaman's fee."
She is not dividing the treasure among the crew and the ship evenly. We have been given more. Is this what I am understanding?
It looks that way. I hope he's paying the other crew members adequately.
She kind
And
of
just to make
frowns
sure,
a
you
little
guys having this conversation in Halfling, I'm assuming?
This isn't halfling,
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
Just clarifying.
Jack didn't follow along enough of the conversation beforehand to understand they're getting a special cut until she got handed 200 gold. And so she, once William sort of explains it to her, she kind of frowns a little bit and gives an appraising look to the captain. She says, very well. I do not like this though. It is not proper.
William agrees. I hand back the difference to him.
To who now?
I don't know. I don't feel right getting more money than the rest of the crew in the ship.
So you're handing it back over to the captain?
Not just yet.
Yeah.
Do the math. I don't know how much it is.
What is the captain's reaction here? Is she picking up on this unease or?
The captain, the eyes are flicking back and forth between the two halflings as they're talking, but you don't really see any. Seems to be a little difficult to read. If you want, you can make an insight check, see if you pick up on anything.
Okay. $18.
Oh, okay. So as you're watching the captain during this conversation, you can tell she definitely seems to have some sort of inkling of what's going on. You're not sure how much she really knows, but you can definitely see that something's sort of playing out with the siblings, but doesn't seem hugely concerned by it. This continues stacking up the different ones, different stacks, 18 gold high.
Yeah, I guess Snowmoon, he just kind of he'll just watch this unfold before he decides to take any kind of action.
As eventually there's just a pile, just a bunch of different piles on the desk. I think that about does it. All that's left is to start bringing the others in. We'll make port here tonight and we'll head south in the morning then. See what sort of money we can make in Snowdown. If there's nothing else.
Sounds good to me.
Art's gonna go up and grab the other 18 gold that they are getting, and then probably go and find their the rest of their stuff, and just furiously write down notes about said turtle adventure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I would grab all my gold and tuck it in my belt, and leave.
Okay. Snow Moon?
So have Jack and William accepted the coin, even though?
Not sure.
Yeah, he's still kind of standing by because he didn't understand what they're saying, but he sees them having a conversation and wants to
I think
let it play out before he.
Let it sidetrack for a second. I'll say Jack's standpoint is very much going to be that she's the sort of the code as she follows it is that just all treasure gets after the fees for whatever the ship needs, all treasure gets distributed evenly among everybody. So she's not necessarily comfortable with being given more, but she is also not she also I guess the captain is the captain, so she's not going to go against the captain's word. So she'll take the extra money even though she doesn't like that way of doing business. But if William decides he's going to give his back and just have it distributed among the crew, she would follow suit.
Okay, so William, what are you doing? You just saw Artemis and Fury have picked up their 218 and are starting to head out of the captain's quarters.
Yeah, so whatever the difference would be if it were distributed equally, William would hand that back. He's not trying to get on the other crew's bad side.
Let's see here. So
you might as well do the math for Jack's gold as well.
Yeah, that's so if we do, let's see. Well, actually, before I buzzer, okay, so Snow, when you watch as the siblings pick up their little stacks of 18, but don't seem to be taking the 200 at the moment.
Okay. What do I see the captain reacting in any kind of way to that?
So as they picked it up, and William, are you literally handing it back to the captain and telling her to distribute it evenly, or are you just how exactly are you handling this? It seems like your sister's following your lead.
Yeah, I'm giving the rest back to the captain. I say it's not right for us to get more gold than everybody else.
Okay, so at Snowman, you definitely hear that, and Lydia's still in the room.
Against the code, Captain.
As the captain sort of cocks her head for a little bit, and then looks over at the four of you who are still in the quarters with her, as Artemis and Fury have already left. And then you watch she sort of smiles a little bit. Now, I can understand that, and if your wish is for me to be taking that back and altering the amounts broken apart, I'm more than happy to do so. But you do realize that the crew was told we'd be making 1,000 gold. Had the group of you not gone in there, we would not be making 1,000 gold. You came back with another twice that. Not twice that, but 1.5, whatever the math is.
All right.
So
well,
my
whatever the
intention was
captain
to reward
says.
you for doing that, as no one else could have, and give the give everyone else exactly what they was expecting.
All
And
right.
so, hearing this, Snowmoon just nods and takes the full 218.
Yeah, at this point, it's whatever the captain says. So, I'll take it.
Okay. So as William picks up his, Snowman does. Jack, are you following suit?
No. Jack, kind of looks thoughtful for a while, and she says, I am, how you say, appreciate of the generosity of the captain, but it is not the way that I know. Perhaps we did go in the turtle, but it would have been a long swim back to shore without the rest of the crew. It is as it is. All share the rewards equally. I will say nothing of the others, but I do not wish extra.
Okay, then. So she reaches over and takes over the 200 back from you. And then looking at the remainder, goes, okay. That's out of this many. So then... Okay. So on top of the stack of 18 in front of you, she puts an additional 4 gold. Then proceeds to go down on every other stack of 18, making it now 22. You know, she does not put any additional onto the other members of the party that already took theirs.
Okay.
And she looks in, again, that same sort of smile for you, Jack. One day I'll figure you out. But, as you said, is not a word will be spoken of what was done in here, other than you came back with a chest full of gold, and the crew is getting their 22 pieces. Between the 4 of you remaining, make sure the other 2 know it's now 22 and not 18.
Of course.
Not that most people discuss, as you said, it is split evenly.
Jack will bounce without any further discussion.
The Snow Moon, William, you following Jack Suit and heading out?
Yeah.
It's time for dinner.
There was, as the 3 of you leave and Lydia starts to follow, you hear the captain call out to Lydia as she goes to leave. Just be careful with the girl. She seems an odd sort to me. Turning away money. And Lydia just gives her, straight typical, "Aye, Captain." And heads on out. So the evening is now yours. You can stay on the ship and the food here. You can head into town.
Did we happen to notice if the flying pellet is back, or is it still gone?
As you're looking, it seems to still be missing.
Okay.
So as you're walking around, you did notice there were a couple of other, seem to be smaller establishments in town. And again, most of them have, don't seem to do quite as much business, just dealing with mostly fish products.
Well, Elam, shall we go eat, drink, and be merry?
Oui, Jacques.
You're buying.
Okay, so as the siblings are heading off to get food, what are the rest of you doing?
Yeah, I'd be doing the same thing.
Oh,
Same
okay.
sort of thing.
Snow
Yeah,
Moon?
I'd follow along as well.
Oh, okay. Art,
Yeah.
food and drink sounding good to Art as well?
Sounds better than going and buying more fish products.
You guys spend about 5, maybe 7 minutes. You manage to find yourself a small tavern. And as you walk in, the first thing you notice is the smell of freshly cooked fish.
Oh, gosh.
And you can see there's a few people around. Doesn't seem like a huge number. As you guys are just sort of poking around, looking up at the little board they've got as you come in. They reference a couple of different things. You can see they've got a couple of, looks to be like a fried fish dish with some sort of, comes with some sort of side with it called an apple of the earth.
That sounds like it's probably something gross.
Ah, says the
And then-
one who is French.
Exactly.
Ah,
Reason
That
for
is
everything,
funny.
folks.
As she sits down, she's like, she finds the first bartender she can. She's like, I would like wine, if you please. And you may. Says,
What you looking
and
for?
she's like, as it's being poured, she's like, go on, go on, go on. Oui, thank you.
Just finished pouring and just looks at the bottle. Just sets the bottle down in front of you. It's so nice. It's a very sort of earthen tone to it.
You sure it's not cherry pomegranate wine?
Sure, why not?
Sponsored by V8. This wine is delicious and refreshing, and it seems like I am getting a full serving of vegetable.
not actually sponsored, but I mean, if you want to hit us up.
Wait, isn't that a fruit, not a vegetable?
It has many flavor notes.
I mean, there's cherries and pomegranates, that is fruits, but I don't know. Look, isn't V8's whole shtick that you get a full serving of fruits and vegetables with everything? I feel like it should be on this bottle somewhere. I don't know. Sponsored.
They
Yeah.
had the phone picked up and they went, "Oh, they don't even know our lines, man."
Yeah, I would order the fried fish dish.
Okay.
Yeah, Snowmoon flags down the barman, asks for the fish dish as well.
Okay. Think about it. It looks to be. I'm not sure if this is regional or not. I haven't run into them down here as of yet. Any of y'all familiar with smelts?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And they bring you out a massive plate of fried smelts with some sliced potatoes that have been fried. That's the apple of the earth, because,
That's the
French.
Yeah,
pomme de terre.
pomme de terre. Yeah.
I know how to say the French things in English, just because 420 10 9. Can't you just say 99? Anyway.
French accounting's weird.
Anyways,
Boy.
drinks are sent around. Food is prepared for those who are interested in it. And it seems like a very light crowd in this place. And your assumption from most of you is where most people here are fishermen. They're probably not coming into inns and taverns that specialize in serving fish. And you start to think that's probably why, when the Flying Pelican's in town, that everybody flocks there. As you're looking, you've got the barkeep, seems to be a older, lower jaw is sort of jutting out a little bit. Looks like there's one tooth sticking up. You're thinking maybe some half orc in him. Only other person eating in here with you is this bent older human male sitting by his lonesome in a booth in the corner, just looking around, once in a while taking a bite, drinking some sort of foul concoction. Evening seems to pass.
I would like to propose that we come to an agreement after our adventure today. That we never speak of this again.
I just want to point out, before we move on from this topic, that I much prefer fish inside than the other way around. Fish inside me, as opposed to...
There's like a long pause where like Jack has to get that translated to her from William, and then she's like,
Yeah, it's not exactly the most glamorous adventure start. Maybe let's fudge the details.
I cannot help but think that we did a whole thing inside of a turtle for no reason.
We
keep
helped
it in
the
this-
turtle out.
Well, that's true, but the captain just shot a bunch of other turtles and we brought those back and we got our gold from it. Could have done that in the beginning.
I don't think anybody would have believed
You're
us.
German tonight. I don't know what's happening to
And
Oh dear.
Lydia reaches in and pulls out that orb. Oh, we found this.
Yeah, when did we
Wouldn't
not get
hold
that?
that. I'd put that away. I don't think that should be out in the open for everybody to see.
Well, I got one too right here. And they like pull out basically their magic focus, which is kind of like a similar like herb crystal kind of thing.
Whoa, look at this!
And then they just kind of like put it back in there. But
Yes, I know I get what you mean.
I mean, Lydia, what if that crazy old mage is in here? Or at least everybody calls him crazy. I mean, he might get it in his head that he wants it.
As you see that,
Jack is
Lydia
like-
starts
Jack is
looking
like-
around the...
onto that old man.
yeah.
And as Furious said, crazy old mage, you do see the head. Jack, as you start turning towards him, you see the head snap back in front of him. So apparently he had turned at that phrasing.
Everybody that Furia has spoken to that made mention of this guy has called him crazy. Or at least, some offshoot of it.
Crazy, lunatic, insane. Yeah.
Jack gets up and walks over and sits down at the old man's table, just like
Oh,
thunk,
dear.
looking at him.
But as you sit down and looking at this point, you can see it's sort of a very unkept, scraggly sort of patchwork beard. Now, parts on the right are a little longer, parts on the left. Sitting in front, you see that he is missing most of one eyebrow. And just bits and pieces of hair and missing, starting to recede, but not really bald yet. So you sit down, just sort of looks up at you. What do you want?
What do you want?
Oh. You people ain't from around here yet. You're talking about me.
Are you a crazy old man? Well, that is self-evident. Are you a magic crazy old man?
He reaches out, mutters a couple of words, and touches the fork in front of him, and it starts to glow, giving off a soft light.
Yeah.
I know a few things.
I see. Did you hear that the turtle problem has been dealt with?
I know. You the idiots who killed the bloody thing?
We are the idiots who dealt with the problem, yes?
You were supposed to bring it back alive. Any idea how I could have trained that thing, all the things you could have done for me?
Oh? What sort of things?
Turtles are things that can go in the water and on the land.
She's like...
So, I got this boat built. It's got these massive wooden wheels on the side. You lash it to a turtle, you can put it in the water and on the ground.
I see. And
Call it a turtle carriage.
And you are a very, how you say... And she, like, switches to, halfling, and she calls across to William. She goes, how do I tell him that he is, a rich, crazy old man without being insulting in common?
I tell her to speak her truth.
She goes, okay, what is the word for a...
William, I don't
what
like
is the
that
word
smile
for
on your face.
entrepreneur in common? She goes, you are no help at all. Tells her. You have a considerable amount of gold. Yes, if you are offering such a large reward for the turtle.
The one good eye sort of squints a little bit looking at you. I have enough.
I see.
Well protected.
Your no, your what was it? Turtle carriage? Carriage?
Yeah, turtle carriage.
I see. Perhaps perhaps my party of idiots and I have information that might fix your dreams of turtle carriage.
What does that mean?
Well, now we may have something to talk about.
Ah. Listen, if it is turtle carriage that you're after, what would be the information of how you could do this be worth to you?
Well, it would depend. The information, maybe 100 gold. 'Cause that still leaves me having to hire people to do the work.
What if I told you that all you would have to do is simply follow a very simple instruction? And the turtle carriage would be... poof! Come true all before your eyes.
Watch him sort of hemming and hawing.
It was worth, what was it, 4,000 gold? The information that I have to give you is very nearly as good as bringing you the means to get your turtle carriage.
Go ahead and make a persuasion check.
Okay. Ooh, okay, the dice is a 17. I think my persuasion's a +1. Yeah, 18.
Okay. Looking at that roll. He seems to be hemming and hawing a bit. Well, then I'll make you this. I'll offer you $7.50 for the information. If it's good,
This seems reasonable to me.
I'll double it.
This seems very reasonable to me. Let us say, if this is your offer, 1,400 for the whole thing. Perhaps you pay half now, and then I give you my information, and if it is good, you pay the other half.
Well, don't go anywhere for at least an hour, because it ain't like I carry around 1,400 gold in my person.
That is a very smart decision for you.
Don't go anywhere. And you watch as he spins around and starts hobbling out of the table. As he comes out, you notice that he is missing most of his left leg. It seems like he's something happened. He's got off, and you can see what looks to be a strange, almost two-piece metal contraption for the bottom part of his leg. But you do notice in the center where the kneecap would be seems to be a small bluish crystal. And he just, once he's up though, he seems just sort of takes off almost excuse me, almost at a sprint out of here.
Alright, well, Jack is just gonna wait and drink her enormous, comically large glass of wine.
So, and are you going back over to Joy and your friends, or are you staying at the
yeah.
So eventually, Jack comes back over and joins you, and you all just saw this crazy old man take off sprinting.
Jack, what was that? Did you offend him? What happened?
Probably, but he is an old man with perhaps more gold than, how you say, marbles.
So he's not actually just eccentric, he's crazy.
I don't understand this. What is difference?
Eccentric is quirky. Still within the means of normalcy, maybe. But this guy, the way you're telling me, he sounds batshit crazy. And that is more crazy. It's a level system.
Oh, level system. I understand.
Intensity.
It seems. How is the words you use? Batshit crazy?
Yes.
Yes, this is how he seems to me.
Well, why did he run off? What was that all about?
We shall see. For 1 hour for him to return.
And
Yes.
do what?
He is the batshit, but he is also the having of the gold, as I said. There is business to be conducted.
Everything's so ominous. Okay. Excuse me while I just make sure that all of my effects are in order in case I need to run the same way as he did.
She switches to halfling and she goes to William. She goes, I am confused now. Is Artemis also the batshit crazy?
William just sort of looks over and examines Artemis and what does I think and then turn back to Jack and just take a really big swig of the wine and plop it down on the table.
Of course.
So he said he's coming back. Are we waiting for him? What is this?
You may wait if you wish. I have more to discuss with him when he returns.
He turns back to the barman, flags him down, and orders another fish platter.
Agent brings it over.
In the like intervening time between now, Jack gonna go. She's gonna go over with William in halfling. Her like advice or whatever that she has for him that she like gets it all right in common. Which presumably means that like everybody character-wise at the table is now like in on what Jack is gonna like say to this guy when he comes back. Hearing like bits and pieces of it from William, or at least parts of it maybe.
Oh, okay.
But I'll save it for when he returns.
Anything else the rest of you would be doing during this hour is for the first like 15-20 minutes is the siblings start going back and forth. You're hearing some sort of plan. I don't know if it's batshit crazy or quirky. Or maybe it's on the level.
I would definitely order another plate of food. Being inside turtles makes very hungry.
I gotta say that. Never mind. I'm just gonna click.
I'll flag down the barman. Be like, do you have anything else other than fish? I know this is a fish town, there's a port, there's fish everywhere. Is there a bird? Is there poultry? Are there just vegetables?
Vegetables.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I can get something for you from our back. I got this this meat pie that I can put between a couple. Yeah, I'm dying tonight. And I got this sort of ground meat. I can put it between a couple of rolls for you if you want.
Yes, that sounds perfect.
Yes, it's my favorite vegetable.
The
Perfect. Give me a few minutes. You want some of this earth apple with it?
Of course.
Alrighty.
That's a vegetable, right?
It disappears for a few minutes and then about 5 or 7 minutes later it comes out. And they got another plate of fries and now it appears to be a somewhat rudimentary hamburger.
Sloppy Joe. Wonderful, thank you.
Not a problem. You helped me out too. And goes back and start cleaning something behind the counter. As you're looking at it, seems to be greasy.
That is fine. It is not fish.
And
It is
thus
not
the famous
turtle.
Sloppy Joe was invented.
When a gnome got shat out of a turtle, they wanted something different.
Sponsored by Sloppy Joes.
As a
Yep, hamburger
little while
helper.
later, a crazy old man comes running back in and looks over, doesn't see Jack at his tail, turns and sees the group of you together.
When he comes in, she's like getting up and going back to his previous table to like continue their negotiation.
Okay, so he's walking over, looking, and he takes a little slower walk this time, walking by the group of you. Gets over to the table and sits down. Interesting group you got there. Someone actually ordered the meat?
Should they not have ordered the meat?
You see any animals that give me around here? Wouldn't ask where it came from.
Artemis, you are eating people.
As it starts to cough. No, it not quite that bad. Rat.
Oh, it is not people, you're fine.
I can deal with a rat, that's fine. Gristle.
So,
Anyway, where are we in our negotiations?
so it is. You watch as he sits down, reaches into his pocket, pulls out a small chest, about 2 inches wide, sets it on the table in front of you, starts muttering to himself, and then reaches out and touches the chest. And appearing out of thin air on the table beside the two of you, it's about a 2 foot deep by 3 foot wide chest. Picks up the little chest, tucks it away somewhere, needs to reach up and open it, pulls out a small pouch, and just sort of goes ching 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 ching, and sets it down in front of you. Now let's hear this information.
She just like hefts that to see if it feels like the weight of, what was it, 750?
Yeah.
Okay, she's not gonna count it, that would be rude.
Now it's good, decent enough to. You're pretty sure if it's off, it's not off by much.
Okay, so that disappears quickly. And she says, very well, the information that I have for you. The turtle that you, did he know it was a turtle? Was that?
No, it's...
Oh, he must have, because he wanted turtle carriage.
Right, people referred to it as a giant-sized turtle.
Okay.
So that's...
The turtle that you had your bounty for, it was never would have worked for turtle carriage. It was violent, far too aggressive. It is better that this problem has been dealt with. However, it is not the only one. There are many others in the same area. She points back towards the crew. My crew and I have seen them. And though they are, how you say, stupid, they are quite large and can grow to be quite even larger, as they say. She points to Furia. She says, this one has the ability to... it was Furia that talked to him, right?
Yep.
I talked to the littler turtle. Yeah.
This one was able to speak to them, so we know they are... they know how to think, yes. And they are extremely easily manipulated. If you wish to have your turtle carriage, for the mere cost of someone to take you a few hours outside of the door, and a little bit of both charm and vegetable, yes, you would be able to lure at least one, perhaps more of these creatures if you have the magic power that you can also talk to them, I believe that if you promise them food, steady food, they will willingly follow you anywhere you wish to go. You can have 10 tether carriage. It will take you no more than an afternoon, and a few gold to pay someone to take you out there. Much less than the 4,000 it would have cost you, even, she gestures back towards his chest, with my fee.
Starts rubbing his face a little bit. Reaches in, pulls out another small bag, drops it in front of you. Yeah, you may have a good point there.
Should have hefts that one. Says. That disappears as well. Says.
Closes the chest, and you watch as the small chest comes back out, and single spoken word, and the big one vanishes. Slips it back in the pocket.
A pleasure to do business with you, and I do not care what they say. You are not a the batshit.
He sort of grins a little and leans in a little cushion. Gonna give you a warning. Yeah, I am.
She says, she leans in. I give you a warning. I was being polite. I know. She gets up and just goes back to her table. And she just like sits down with her like, I assume more empty than this, but I can't drink a comically overfilled glass of EA juice that quickly. Juice. Okay, I am done.
William is just like sitting there with a bendy straw in his cup at this point, is just like, wow. Very good. Good negotiating.
As a couple of minutes goes by, you see the old man get up and walks out. Rest of your meal seems to pass without. It's starting to get a little late in the evening. You can either try to find board in town, or you can go back to the ship free of cost.
Jack's going back to the ship.
For those of you who decided to have food as well as drinks, this place is going to charge you a grand total of 5 silver for the food and drink. So if you got more than one plate, just multiply it out. I think Fury and Snow Moon each had 2. That would be a total of 10 silver. If you didn't eat and were just drinking, 2 silver.
What if you didn't eat and were still drinking, convinced your brother to pay for you, but then you earned 1,400 gold while you were having your meal?
I guess your brother still owes some silver for your drink.
It's just algebra, lady. Like.
Yeah, I'll pay an exact change. My 10 silver.
Yes, Snow Moon will pay as well.
Okay. As the party starts making their way back to the ship to prepare for tomorrow's voyage, heading south towards Snowdown, to the capital of Cair Westfall. It's there that we will call an end to tonight's session.
Hey.
As the party has made their way finally out of the turtle, back to the surface, back to the ship, and back to town to collect on a higher reward. And Artemis, go ahead and make a Constitution save for me.
Oh!
Yeah.
We'll just see how well this goes.
Oh gosh.
Oh, Jesus.
Can they see our chat on Twitch?
No, not currently.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we just reached the end of the session. I'm gonna use my 20.
For your con save. So you manage as you're stumbling away up there and get to the side ship, and I'm assuming you're holding this on, trying to make it so nobody's around.
No, I just don't want to get any on anybody or myself. But I mean, if I need
as
to
you
push someone out of the way.
No, you manage to get over to the side of the ship, and this is the epitome of just projectile. As you lean, it is, fountain. It just gouts forward. You come out of it, 1 or 2 drops on the railing of the ship itself. You are spotless. With a nat 20 going for vomit.
I imagine Artemis turns back around and the 5 of us are just.
I picture somebody holding up a card. 10.
How did you have that much in you? It seems more than was possible.
It's like a less messy version of that Team America scene where it's just. Before we disappear for the evening, we do need to decide a nat 20 for next time. So what does our chat say? What does our party say? Anything that jumps out?
We could let Lydia keep it for next week.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm going to let Lydia keep hers for next week. Okay. Just talking. I don't like pulling them away from something if they're not here, but it's, you guys are here and, plus I have a turtle butt, so it's a reward for that.
Oh, no.
That's true.
I would vote for Jack because he conned the mage out of a lot of gold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got more money.
Well,
Well,
Jack got more money.
there's no guarantee
Amazing
Jack's going to
if
share that.
Jack's code of honor extends to this additional money.
Oh, interesting.
Ooh.
As this was not official pirate business. This is Jack's side hustle.
This is Jack scheming. Okay, so we will award Jack the nat 20 for next time.
Hey.
So, and don't forget, before next time, folks, make sure to level up as you guys are hitting 4.
Yes!
Yeah.
Nice.
As you guys have survived the first, I guess I'll say, you've passed the tutorial.
I barely passed it. Oh my
This
god.
is gonna mean that we're gonna enter more large animals.
That's right. You
Doo-doo.
guys won't even believe how big the anuses are next to
Oh my god.
No, the problem is the anuses are smaller. They're harder to get into.
Sponsored by V8
I was
Splash.
on that
That's
note,
right. Sponsored by V8.
our sponsor,
They would have a tube of preparation H.
our proud
You know, we
sponsor.
didn't see that. We didn't see any. There was no solids inside that turtle. So they could use fiber. Full serving of fruit and vegetables. Oh my god, we're gonna get a cease and desist.
That's the opposite of sponsorship.
And then we're going to get contacted by Discovery Channel or National Geographic. Please note, turtles actually eat a large amount of fruits and vegetables. There would have been solids all the way through there.
Oh no.
We would have had to get Furia to turn into a badger or something.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah, there's certain lines I didn't want to cross.
Oh, we've crossed them all by now.
So remember, folks, next time you're designing an adventure for your party and you decide to have them traipsing through the inside of an animal, don't make the portal holding the ending entrance 1 at the anus and 2. Don't say it's a metal thing down at the bottom. You'll break your party. Don't forget to add your proficiency bonus, folks. Have a good week. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.